Okay. Is everybody with their groups now? Yes? Cool. Okay. Page 103 in your books, please. Page 103 in your books. You are going to work with your table mates. There are 3 problems on this page. I'm going to give each group a different starting place, but then you're going to go through and do the other ones. So if I tell you to start with problem 1, you would do 1 and then 2 and then 3. If I tell you to start with problem 2, then you'll start with 2, then you'll do 3, then you'll cycle back to 1. Okay? If I tell you to start with problem number 3, you'll start with 3, then you'll go do 1 and then 2. So everybody should get through all the problems, but if we don't get through them all, you need to start with the problem that I give you and then go in numerical order from there. Got it? All right, if you have a face card, so kings and queens, you guys are starting with problem number 1. If you have an even numbered card, you're going to start with problem number 2. And if you have an odd numbered card, you're going to start with problem number 3. So there's 2 things that I want you to keep in mind. 1, guess and check is perfectly appropriate to solve. Equations are perfectly appropriate, but no matter which way you decide to start, you need to develop an equation. So if you use guess and check to get to the answer, that's okay, but then you want to reverse engineer what an equation would look like for that situation. Okay? Once you and your group are done with the problem that you've been given to start with, go to the next problem in numerical order. If you get to the bottom of the page, go to the top and start working from there. Okay? I'll be moving around the room to offer assistance to anybody that needs it. Okay? All right, guys, we've got just a couple of minutes left. I want to talk through these. 1 and 3 especially, because the same thing that works on problem number 1 would work for problem number 3. Problem number 2 was a little bit different, but let's talk about this one. When I look at problems like this, I know I need only one variable, or I need to get it to one variable, because math is really good at finding stuff, but only one thing at a time. So I usually like to pick the one that's the smallest, and I build my equations around that. That's not the only way to do it. There's other ways to get to the right answer, but that's usually where I start. So when you look at this first problem, who has the smallest number of songs? Yep. So we have Inez, or Inez. I don't know how to pronounce it, and I apologize to her. So I'm going to let this be the variable that we use. What variable do you want to use for her? I. Sounds good. Who's the next girl they tell us about? Jane. How can I represent how many songs Jane has in relationship to how many songs Inez has? 2 times I. And then we still have Tracy, right? Yeah. How can I represent the number of songs that Tracy has? 2 times I plus 1, because it says she has what? 1 more than Jane. And Jane has 2I, so 1 more than that would be 2I plus 1. Are we okay with this so far? What else do I know about all 3 ladies? All of their songs together add up to be 36. So if I add all of these, I get 36. I can write one big long equation out of this. What would it look like if I write it as one big long equation?
36 equals x plus 2x plus 2x plus 1.
Yes. Because we have Inez plus Jane. Jane is 2I, right? Plus Tracy, which was 2I plus 1. And when I add them all together, I get 36. How many I's do we have? How many? Here's 2. Here's another 2, so that's how many? That's 4. Any others? 1 more. So we have 5 i's. 5i plus 1 equals 36. What would I do with it here? Subtract the 1 from both sides, and that would give me 35, right? So how many songs did Inez download? 7. And then from there, why did I divide by I? I want to divide by 5. So Inez had 7 songs, so that means Jane had 14. And Tracy? Tracy had 15. Did that make sense? What about number 2? Because number 2 was pretty different. People that had number 2, what did you do? What did we do to figure out number 2? Nicely done. So that negative 300, that's your rate. That is being taken away each month or each time. Starting amount was 4,800. Ending amount was 1,500. Very, very nice work. We're going to continue our equation building work when I see you guys again on Friday. There is no homework tonight. However, I don't see you in person tomorrow. There is a Canvas activity for tomorrow. It's what we would have done in class, except I'm not going to see you. It is not ridiculously long, okay? But it will be going in as a grade since I'm not here to work with you guys, okay? I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day.